keep it rolling, the change.
You mean unemployment will spark people's
Well,
interest
people
in
will.
jobs?
People will
Absolutely,
lose.
it will change because we will all consider that it's impossible to keep everybody working 40 hours a week.
So based on a grassroots idea that it comes from the bottom up, right?
No. This
Joel,
idea that you would have guaranteed living wage, and this is going to help fill the gap of what's happening with automation. And sometimes people look towards the future with automation and don't look towards the past enough. And my favorite example of this is Excel. Like, look, to do a hand-done ledger for a project is a major work with a pen and pencil and calculator. Like, it's a completely different efficiency world, the models that you can run, just with Excel as it is today. That alone, like things like that, kill a lot of, kill a lot of work. The publishing industries, are having a hard time because there's a more compelling form of media than paper, and so as there become more compelling forms, you're going to see more and more joblessness. It's a huge political science, poli-sci issue. It really is politics and social. It's not technology related, and it's tough. Who's going to own this stuff? That's the other thing.
What worries me about this development is how people turn into couch potatoes. People don't have the need to go out of their houses anymore because they can order everything out of the house. But the real world is outside their house. So people should, in my opinion, should more often shut down their computers and get into motion. Because
But not to go shopping. You go to motion to go climbing.
Go to
Something that
go
exactly.
to walk around.
Exactly, but
exactly the point.
Like if you say you can, for example, you say that's important, you think that's a big problem, well then you get the resources to make more awareness about that.
On the best.
Probably.
Yeah.
A little bit higher.
No, that's so like the question is, what about the 1%? The 1% so the 1% is up there, right? When the people down here are getting replaced by automation, they don't have purchasing power to actually send the money on top. So the whole system collapses on their foot.
Yep.
That's what they don't want, so
They
they
don't
will
want.
leave this complication.
Yes, but what can you do about it then? What can they do about it? Social media. Yeah, so we're gonna throw some this is dangerous technology. You need to But the thing is, like the people, they will always be the underground. There is always the technology is a little bit unstoppable actually, and that's a little bit the scary part of it. I'm also scared about this, but the technology is a little bit unstoppable, and that's why banks already, since they couldn't fight it, they are joining. They're gonna adapt the technology to in their own system, and maybe try to get like you need to use only this. I want the one that we created.
So, do you have a date or for the next meetup?
No, I was thinking once a month to actually meet up and discuss, but more than a presentation, really just get a discussion group. So sit down in a circle and just exchange ideas. And of course, if somebody knows like, oh, I would like to present something, or I would like to, please, you're welcome to join. And then in time, then we're actually gonna unravel what we're actually doing on the profit side.
I have some other thoughts and questions as well, but this actually triggers one question. How many of you, I'm actually wondering, are from Amsterdam or close to Amsterdam? Yeah. From the least part of the country, actually. I think this is exactly the kind of thing that needs to be spread, shown, discussed, etc. And also, maybe most important, planned out for the future, like everywhere. And for me, it's a big issue because it's a 2-hour drive. Of course, as Dutchmen, we're not used to any kind of travel time, so we're not exaggerating. But I think it's a good idea to start maybe localized events as well, and we definitely like to help in setting that up, as soon as possible. So, do you have any thoughts on that? Anyone here?
I'm already active on Limburg, so I'll do that right there. I'm now from Maastricht, so
Are people actually open to this kind of thought?
yeah. It's already happening. So like, I'm getting into the universities there also to spread exactly the same idea.
the idea is one, but the ways are
Yeah,
many. Yeah.
so yes, I would love to join work together.
Well, we can. I don't know how long we still have, but that's not.
Well, when I saw the city that they're suggesting to build, my first idea was, well, let's make it in a refugee camp. I mean, they need it the most. And if we need a place, well, there is enough space there. Now they have tents, but we could build them a village project city. And then maybe the ones who, wage wars and have sent them there would think, hey, wait a minute, we thought they're going to have it worse, and now they're having it better. So maybe they would,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Before we do, we would literally attract all of them.
I think it's maybe indeed like, well, if you really would spend the money that is spent for war to actually say, fix it on the other side, yes, this is going to be easy. It's going to be very easy. And it's something that is, if you do some really, you think it into a max production, so say like, we're going to spend money a lot not to make the city, but to make the machine that makes the city. That's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I wanted to say that looking at the documentary, I think that one core idea that is behind of the documentary is like to see like to have like an over-reliance of science and to see the universe like a giant machine that if you have enough information about it, you can take the right decisions.
No.
So Fresco, Marx on the idea of consciousness, no? And he also insists that the behavior is like deterministic. And one of the limitations that I see on this is that supposing that there is like one computer that takes the decisions for humans, because one thing is like allocating resources, but at some point you have also to take like ethical questions and moral decisions. No? And then
We should never let the computer take moral decisions.
Exactly, yes,
Never.
yes, so
The
that,
computer
scary.
tells you the soil is dry, the humidity is not good for this growth, and then it changes the humidity. There is nothing moral about that kind of decision. That's what the machine needs to do. It needs to work for us.
no, I know, but
Don't give it intelligence to take moral decision and moral
I
situation.
think
But it's what he's saying.
in his rhetoric, Fresco goes much further than that. And that's where I started feeling that resistance, that he's giving rhetoric which, has a motivational component, but I think I got the sense that he was starting to believe his own rhetoric, which I felt was unhealthy.
and I'm just wondering what would be an ethical question that you would come up with? Like, and also, what is good to be taught in the schools? So what should be taught in the schools?
Good one.
Recommendation would take place in there. So imagine you crowdsource education. That means that the best teacher is the best for each kind of level of education will actually be there competing to get the best grade. So you grading the teacher, and then the best graded teacher will be taught. So it depends on the social understanding and social culture what is the best thing to think. But yeah, then of course somebody says that, wow, this is better. So it becomes very dynamic.
I think it's the exact same thing as
No problem. Well, it's an interesting question about there was a part in the video where they start digging the canals and do other things, and then I had to think about China, where they have changed the run of the Yangtze River, and they built all kinds of dams and things, and there is nothing you can do in nature that will not change the course of nature, and that will have impact on nature. So,
But we are solving a problem. Yes. Now
but it hardly ever works the way as you hope it is.
But the university, it suggests that for everything you do as many negative studies as you can. That's the whole point of it, because that's science. It's not just start doing something because we feel it's the right thing to do. What are the negative consequences? So the digging the canal was to bring racing seawater to the desert. So in practice, for that specific example, you say like, well, we have a problem already, and now we're trying to fix it. And the desert, okay, yes, that we're going to change something in the desert, but cannot kind of go positive only from that point on, right? In the desert.
Not if you are a desert lizard. Who
No.
lives there? And
You-
who's
yeah.
used.
But okay, then we can all go 70 meters underwater to save the desert lizard. I want to see that activism happening.
It's a very valid point.
It's a very
Yeah,
valid
it is a valid
point. It's a
point.
very valid
Messing
point.
with biodiversity, you're messing with very, very complex systems that you can only model to a certain extent. And, you know,
Yeah.
you're going to improve your ability to predict the consequences of what you're doing. But you're still, you know, major projects like that, you're still going to be running risks.
Yeah, but
and you're
what
gonna
about
take
the consequence of what we're doing now? Who's modeling that?
yeah, but you know, that decision that is it better or not to make that major intervention and to cut that canal, that's one where somebody's got to make that call, and you know, okay, you put
But
a
now-
mechanism in place where there's a large collective that's making that call.
Exactly.
It's still
The entire world will be making that call.
Because these are new things that come up when you develop such a new society. And then you have new questions that you can study in science.
But all it is, right now somebody will decide that, and will decide that process.
That's
Yeah.
a good question.
But we have that issue right now as well, so.
Do you agree?
Pro-
Well, not really a question. I just, you know, we have a lot of conflicts between religions, cultures, and so on. I don't see this really changing that.
No, but what it changes the connection. So now this technology, for instance, the blockchain is borderless. That means that I could participate, he could participate, and somebody on the other side of the world could participate. And for the system, you have not. It doesn't matter what is your religion, what is your point of view on things. So everybody starts using it. It's a bit like the internet, but the internet as it should be. And it starts, and it's when you can build a government in this, which is borderless, inside this technology, then you get the first borderless government where everybody can join, independent of your religion. People that are religious and don't want to join this can stay out of it, but you already are starting to get a one nation, one planet, one nation idea.
But if you live in China, you were never able to join.
Why not? It's
Who
blocked.
knows?
It's just
Because it will be blocked by the government and everything, and if you don't do it, they will kill you. That's how simple it is.
yes, but that's only a transition. It's today is a status quo. Tomorrow something will change. You know, like when.
How do you prevent from having a Terminator 2 moment when computers take over and
Skynet.
they do uncontrollable decisions? Because like with the blockchain technology, you hardly can influence the systems anymore.
I think Roberto just made that the system would have to come up with a solution to kill all the religious people because it obviously supports that.
What?
Who do we kill first?
I don't know.
The thing is, you don't have to change. You can make another system based on a certain part of those values, make a different one, and let the other one become obsolete. Like
That's it. It's
With every
choosing.
system
But
you
what
have
you build
less
is true.
control.
It's what I did in India, by the way.
There's no need.
You're not giving control to people.
Lawyers, what are the rules in this society?
The ones you decide.
No rules?
The ones you decide. So if I make a contract, so this is my nation, my big nation. You can subscribe today to my big nation. It means that you're gonna go online. You could come on my website and say live. That's already a subscription, right? The thing is like, why do you like my nation? For the rules that are in there and for the ways that I decided when I put it up, to change them. So you like that you can change the rules in this way. You like it, and that's why you subscribe. If you make one that says like, I'm gonna say everything, and I'm gonna, because I am a dictatorship relationship, contract or like nation, then if people subscribe to your nation, it's because maybe they like the way you think, and they say, yeah, sure, I'm gonna do everything that you tell me. But if you choose, you know, you can choose between yours and mine.
It's a question about lawyers. I mean, lawyers make rules, but the important thing is who enforces them and how. It's
Exactly.
about who enforces the rules and how. Because the rules on themselves are valueless.
And then we talk.
Is there gonna be, there's no police, I mean, who's gonna?
Yeah, right, so it's about the police and it's about law enforcement,
Maybe we should
not about.
make this
law
question
Who
also
controls that?
for
Technology
the
as well?
next time.
Most laws.
No,
so many questions. Yeah, you're probably right, because it goes into everything is to do much detail.
Yeah, guys. The laws and the regulation are actually the slowest thing that are adapting. So what can we transform from that complicated system into what can we optimize using the system? That's the right question. So it doesn't mean that you need everything that you need today, because that's where we live in. Everything that is today, that's what we need. The thing is, like, this is like, how do we move forward? What's the next step? And yes, at the beginning, it doesn't give you everything. It gives you maybe just a funny thing to look at. But maybe in 20 years from now, this thing has taken over the entire world in the right way. Or maybe in the wrong way if you're not careful enough. If you don't, if you just let it happen from people that...
Just like anything.
That's just like anything. Like the right product. Just about like any technology, any new technology.
How do you see diversity? And meaning that, like, the houses, they look quite the same in areas, you know, the circle. And for example, right now you're traveling somewhere to see another culture, another, I don't know, area to see, etc., etc. And
well, that's a question for architects.
Yeah.
Daniele, could you answer how do you see diversity in
We
there?
are now trying to understand this according to prototype. So of course, but if this can actually extend the society, then there will be more people thinking that there will be more solutions.
okay, so diversity by creating different houses, etc. But what about the people and their beliefs and their their society? But you don't want
Yeah, but it is really broad.
that's dull.
And a stream of different questions.
This is just an example.
Because right now, for example, architecture isn't the same. If you go to China, for example, it's quite different.
Not the same as
I think we're gonna get lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get lost in
We're gonna get lost.
It's okay. I know the emergency exit with alarm.